Have you ever had one of those moments? You know, the kind of moment where half of your brain thinks, wait a minute, maybe this isn't such a good idea, while the other half of your brain is like, yeehaw, hold my beer and watch this. Well, this is one of those moments.
Maybe not.
As the saying goes, time and tide wait for no man, and Deception Pass was no exception.
Hey, we are gone.
An hour late for slack tide, I thought that we might be able to power our way through.
We're not going anywhere, are we?
But with the current running over 6 knots, it became pretty obvious that there was no way that was going to happen.
Flip the Yui that way? Yeah. Ready? And the current is taking us. How many knots we got?
So we'll be doing on the 6.
Woo! That whirlpool.
We had no choice but to anchor in the small cove next to the pass and wait the tide out.
Summer Hill Station, the sun is gonna shine in the summertime. Oh, won't you be mine? Summer Hill Station, we're gonna take a ride. Summer Hill Station, the sun is gonna shine in the summertime. Oh, won't you be mine?
So I'm making it out of polypropylene because polypropylene floats.
We had picked up a new dinghy while we were in Seattle and wanted to tow it behind the boat, so I built a bridle for it.
You know, this is called marlin spiked seamanship. And it's just, I don't know, it's a handy skill to have. I did all the dock lines on the boat. I've done all the halyards and sheets. I enjoy doing it. This is the easiest it is right here. Easy as it gets. What's it called? Marlin spiked seamanship. You know, my brother's like ridiculously good at this from doing the fishing nets and stuff.
Honestly, we were a little nervous about clearing customs in Canada. So in Friday Harbor, we divested ourselves of any extra booze and contraband, such as potatoes, tomatoes, and corn. But I just couldn't bring myself to give up my Tackett wine collection. If they wanted it, the Canadian government was going to have to pry the bottle out of my cold dead hands.
Canada! Woo! Finally get to put up a courtesy flag. We made it.
Yep, here we are, Canada. Next stop, Alaska.
It turned out that despite all the horror stories, the reality of clearing customs was really a non-event. The after-hours phone on the side of the building dials into a customs agent across the country in Ontario, who took our information and then machine-gunned a bunch of questions at me.
Yes, I'm checking in.
Before I knew it, she gave me a clearance number, thanked me for visiting Canada, and promptly hung up.
Wow, so that was easy and fast, and not nearly as intimidating as I thought it was going to be. And she spoke very fast and difficult to understand, and I was a little nervous, but we got through it. So Phil and I are checked into the country. Yeah, all good. Here we go.
Vancouver is a great city, especially if, like me, you're into boats. Whatever kind of boat you love, you can probably find it here. Whether it's a super tanker or a classic wooden ketch, a speedy runabout or a gleaming white luxury yacht, a modern cruising catamaran or an unsinkable rib, you can find what you're looking for in Vancouver. There are boats built like donuts, so friends can share the barbecue in the middle. And what modern coastal city would be caught dead without a faux pirate boat? As diverse as the city's boats are, so is the population. Maybe more so. It seems as if there is a boat for everyone, and everyone loves to enjoy the city by boat. There's Tom on his aluminum sailboat he built, watching the dragon boats go by. Don't own a boat or you're just visiting? No problem. Whether you're in the 1% or the 99%, Vancouver has you covered. This couple was contemplating buying a boat and sailing off into the sunset. The whole city seems to be in on the action. Is it a mere coincidence that Vancouver has both diversity and the boat thing figured out? I think not. Heck, they even use their airplanes as boats around here. Nanaimo is a small city on the island of Vancouver, about a 20-minute flight by seaplane or 5-hour sail across the Strait of Georgia. Founded by the Hudson's Bay Trading Company as a coal town, the mines were eventually replaced by timber as the town's main economic driver. You can still spot the occasional rugged British Columbian lumberjack around town. Modern Nanaimo bills itself as the harbor city, and while the pulp mill is still active, the growth of its economy seems to be turning more towards tourism, and you guessed it, boats. The Dinghy Dock pub is a local icon. Located across the channel from the city, it started out as a marina with a small grocery store. No longer a marina, the grocery store has expanded several times to become what is billed as Canada's only floating pub. It's a nice, friendly place. Maybe that's because the only way to get here is by boat. Go figure that the fish and chips are to die for. Keith worked at the Dinghy Dock pub for years. Currently retired, he was the talented handyman that did whatever it took to keep the joint running. He knows everyone and everything about the pub.
Pirates Lane, yeah, Captain Kidd's.
And apparently, everyone knows and loves Keith.
By its name.
A few years back, his house on Protection Island burned to the ground, leaving him homeless.
It's because you can't read it.
The locals at the pub raised the funds to rebuild his home.
that's
Keith repays that kindness by helping others in any way he can.
What happened to your house? Why did it burn? Or?
My stepson lit the wood heater before he cleaned it and what have you. But up against the wood heater was a roll of chip foam underlay. He lit the heater, front door fell open, whatever fell out under the hearth, and that was the end of that.
Wow.
Technically, my stepson burned my house down.
All right, let's move back.
Which didn't impress me one little bit. I just took one look at it. No point in getting bent out of shape because I can't undo it. All I can do is pick up the pieces and move on from there. How you doing, Summer?
Keith insisted on giving us a personal tour of his island. You can walk around the island in about an hour. And like most small islands, it had a laid-back vibe. The kind that calls to you and makes you fantasize what it would be like to have a little cabin to call home, with a plot in a community garden and a sailboat moored close by, ready to go on an adventure at a moment's notice.
I'm going to drag you guys up those stairs.
All right.
Drag you over the other part, which I think you'll find impressive. Set the apple trees up. Each one is different. So they were grafted, but this is the way to put them together because better production, eh?
Uh-huh.
Each one of the trees is different.
Thanks very much to all of our Kickstarter supporters, and thank you for watching Sailing the Sea Bear and following our voyage. I hope it inspires you to go out and discover your own islands and adventures. Until next time, fair winds and following seas.